Iran is governed by who? Following the death of Iran's President Ibrahim Raisi in a helicopter accident, new presidential elections will take place in the nation. However, since the Islamic Republic's supreme leader ultimately holds the last say in political matters, it is unlikely that the abrupt death of the hardline cleric will have a major impact on the political landscape there. What is going to happen now in Iran? Regarding a president's incapacity to carry out his duties because of illness, death, or being impeached and removed by parliament, Iran's constitution is clear-cut. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader, named first Vice President Mohammad Mokber to lead the nation's affairs after Mr. Raisi passed away. In collaboration with the leaders of the legislature and the judiciary, Mr. Mokber will plan the 50-day presidential election. Since all credible presidential contenders were disqualified from the previous election, Mr. Raisi was able to win the least amount of votes and take power. Most people abstained from what they perceived to be a rigged election. What are the supreme leader's powers? As the country's supreme leader since 1989, Ayatollah Khamenei is by far the most influential person in Iran. He is the commander-in-chief and the head of state. He is also in charge of the morality police and the national police. The Islamic Revolution Guard Corps, IRGC, which is in charge of internal security, and its volunteer branch, the Basij Resistance Force, which is utilized to put an end to dissent in Iran, are both under the direction of Ayatollah Khamenei. What does the president say? The supreme leader is superior to the president, who is the highest-ranking elected official. He is in charge of the government's daily operations and has a big say in both foreign and internal issues. His authority is rather restricted, though, particularly when it comes to security issues. The National Police Force is administered by the President's Interior Ministry, but its commander reports directly to the supreme leader, who appointed him. This also applies to the Basij and the commander of the Islamic Revolution Guard Corps. Parliament, which enacts new laws, has the additional authority to curb the president's power. New legislation must be approved by the Guardian Council, which is composed of the supreme leader's close associates, and has the power to veto them. In what ways has Iran's state power been challenged? A massive wave of protests rocked the Islamic Republic in 2022 after Mahsa Amini, 22, died after being arrested by the morality police for allegedly breaking Iran's severe dress code. Human rights organizations claim that thousands were arrested and hundreds of people killed during the operation. Over time, the protests expanded from a protest against the dress code to a protest against the regime in its entirety. What are the police of morality? The national police includes the morality police, sometimes known as guidance patrols. The force was founded in 2005 with the purpose of defending Islamic morality and the proper clothing restrictions that were instituted during the Islamic Revolution of 1979. Its 7,000 or so male and female officers are able to issue warnings, apply penalties, or make arrests of suspected criminals. President Raisi had tightened Iran's hijab and chastity law, which required women to behave and dress modestly, a few weeks prior to the uprising in the summer of 2022. Surveillance cameras were implemented to assist in identifying women who are not wearing headscarves, and anyone who criticizes the hijab laws on social media faces an obligatory prison sentence. Uncertainty surrounding Iran's moral police status, the Revolution Guards. Who are they? With more than 150,000 members, the IRGC is Iran's primary agency for preserving internal security and has grown to become a significant military, political, and economic force in the nation. It is in charge of Iran's strategic weapons and has its own air force, navy, and ground forces. It has an overseas branch known as the Quds Force, which covertly gives allies across the Middle East cash, armaments, technology, and training. It also commands the resistance force of Basij. What is meant by the Basij? The Organization for the Mobilization of the Oppressed, formerly known as the Basij Resistance Force, was established in 1979 as a volunteer paramilitary group. It has branches in several of Iran's official institutions, as well as in every province and city. The group's members, both male and female, are known as Basijis and are IRGC-ordered revolutionaries. It's estimated that 100,000 people work in internal security. Ever since the contentious presidential election in 2009, they have played a significant role in quelling anti-government demonstrations.